of women to work within the maritime administration in this sector. And you will be aware of the many women at the Kenya Maritime Authority who were employed, have been developed, and are now contributing a great deal to promoting safety, security within our republic. And I see the technological developments that are coming up as being able to further contribute to the women's participation. So we have issues of digitalization, which are pertinent issues that the maritime sector is dealing with, and which we are discussing and finding how we can contribute and adapt to digitalization. And this is a point of entry which I believe women can contribute. We have the issue of decarbonization and mitigation of climate change. We are looking at alternative fuels that will be used for our ships, and looking at, for example, Kenya being a supplier of these alternative fuels. And I believe the women's role can really come in as we work on developing Kenya as a supplier of new fuels, and as we develop new ships and new technologies that will propel ships, but also make them safe as we move forward. There's also the issue of the maritime autonomous surface ships that are being discussed, that in future the ships will be operated from, for example, a remote location. And this is something that women can play, because they are saying before that the woman cannot go for long to sea, and therefore when the maritime autonomous surface ships become a reality, it will be possible that does not become an excuse. You are participating in the maritime sector, but you are operating from home, and this is something I see as a contribution that can be made by the women. And on what role WOMESA can play to tap into this, I think WOMESA is like a lobby group that supports and promotes the inclusion of women. And these are avenues in which they can see and lobby for the inclusion of women, their participation, and their great contribution that they make to the maritime sector and contributing to maritime safety. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Engineer Samba. My esteemed participants, you've heard quite a bit. He has talked about areas of advancement of women in terms of programs that attract development of women in administrations, among other sectors within the maritime sector. Also considerations in terms of working in the digitization area, as well as the climate change mitigation areas. We can champion on that also. He's also talked about the role of women in the development of alternative fuels towards reduction of GHG, as well as the recent developments in terms of MAS, where the operations are being undertaken on land, and an opportunity for women to flourish and operate vessels, autonomously, yes. And further, that we can also avail an opportunity to now lobby for these areas and for women to now consider progressing careers in these aspects. So thank you very much for that. Please allow me to welcome Captain Dave Mooley from our international regulator to now apprise us on what programs are available, as well as opportunities for women in terms of in terms of development, or in terms of technology progression, as well as programs within the IMO. Karibu sana, thank you.
Yeah, good morning again, all. First of all, let me start by thanking the organizers for recognizing us, and more so for keeping this day, which, as a secretariat under the member states, you instructed us to adopt this day, and we have done it, and you've supported it. Thank you very much. Let me start, first of all, by introducing myself. Catherine did a very long introduction, and you would have someone said I'm a seafarer. I like that. Thank you. Captain Dave Mooley, I work for the International Maritime Organization. I'm based in the Regional Presence Office, which is in Nairobi, looking at Eastern and Southern Africa. And just about my organization, we are a UN specialized agency charged with regulatory of shipping. And as a UN agency, you all know that our boss, the UN itself, UN Secretary General, they have adopted the 17 goals, and goal number 5 is about gender. So we are expected to play a part to ensure that there is gender equality by 2030. It's a long journey, but we are making good progress. We are a secretariat comprised of 176 member states who tell us what to do, including setting this day aside. Through the member states, we make regulations, and we have over 50 international conventions which regulate shipping. Now, let me just jump to the instruments. And the member states adopted the Safety of Life at Sea Convention in 1974, 50 years. Very few of us had the privilege of being in primary school. Most of us were not born. And this convention, I would say, is very dynamic. We have recently added a chapter 15 on carriage of industrial personnel, which is coming into effect 1st of July, actually barely a month from now. And the other important convention is the MARPOL. Today, the issue of climate change is a reality. If you had any doubts, you should have come to Nairobi, where I flew down and see the kind of rains we got. The highest since 1962. Here in Mombasa, of course, I think we were spared by the fact that we are just on the equator. But otherwise, you all heard about the 2 tropical storms, Idaya and the Ila. So climate change is a reality, and we have a convention which is dealing with that, and I will just talk briefly about the 2. Now, when we talk of SOLAS, and Engineer Samba talked like a member state, because they give us what to do. And they've given us a strategic direction within our strategic plan that we should integrate technological advancement in our regulatory making. So under SOLAS, we are looking at the MAS, that is Maritime Automated Service Ships. Now, it's a very big debate in terms of technology, because the other question is, now if you guys, you are going to regulate ships with no people, we want the seafarers, so where are they going? And I would like to take this opportunity just to assure the member states. Every other time we have had that technological shift, we have had fears, but it has always resulted in a positive effect, even on the people. I want to cite an example. Those of us who came to Mombasa in the 80s or late 90s, latest, probably Abasenda, we used to have 2 lifts. One is Splendid Hotel, I don't know what it's called these days, and the Uhuru Nakazi. And once you get in, there used to be a lift operator. So I will ask you, which floor are you going? You close the inner door, then presses a button and takes you to that floor. Today, when you go into a lift, you don't look for a lift operator. But I'm sure there are more lifts in the buildings. We have more technicians employed in the lift industry and even the supply chain. Of course, the lift operators were declared redundant. And that's something we should learn. On the telephone and communication, we had ex-telecoms and Posta. Before they used to be two separate, then they become Posta and telecommunications. Then there was the technological change. And now we have mobile. But I think for every person who lost a job in ex-telecoms and Posta, I think 100 jobs have been created. So this fear of mass, in fact, we should just look at how we're going to take advantage of this advancement. Just like the way today, every circle is a courier carrier. If you want to send a parcel, you just go to the nearest stage and the parcel is delivered. We used to have only one poster. Well, quite unfortunate, the poster went the way it is, but we have more jobs, more people employed in the sector. So, in mass, we have been given instructions by the member states, and next year, 2025, we're supposed to come with a code, a guidance on how these ships will be regulated, with a view that by January 2028, there will be a binding instrument on regulating that. So that is the whole thing in terms of that. So as women, can we look at where are the jobs going to shift? Because from where I sit, I see a shift, not really a loss, and it's not something we should be, but we need to be prepared for that. We'll be having an activity, just setting up the dates on decarbonization of seafarers, which is a project by the IMO, and we want to start preparing, and this is the time. So thank you very much for that. And let me just touch on the environment and the greenhouse gas strategy, which was adopted last year. I think in the terms of maritime is the most, I would say, ambitious strategy. Because we are looking at 2030, which is just 6 years from now. We are looking at 25% of the fuel to be emission-free. In another 10 years, which is 14 years from now, 2040, we are looking at 72% of the fuel available in the market. 2040, we want 100%. Very ambitious. It's going to disrupt supply chain and all these things. But as I say, just like the mass, then we need to prepare. Of course, there will be a new kind of petrol stations, supply chain, different kind of skills, which is really the most important when you look at an industry. So these people who will be supplying this fuel, we need engineers who will be able now to, to serve with those ships which are using zero emission. And while I'm still on the floor, Catherine, allow me to now touch specific on women in terms of IMO. We were proceeding on 3 fronts in terms of what we are doing for women. But first, I would want to say we have a section, we have an officer, Mariana, who is dealing specifically with women. IMO, through the member states, created these women in maritime. We have various, there was a map there showing where we have these women. And when we look at maritime development, it can't be achieved without women. And that is, it's the high priority, a top policy to integrate and consider women as part of development. And as I just said, these two shifts, you need a lot of people. You need new thinking. So we need women to be on board. Now, we have identified 3 approaches. We have looked at training. I would single out the SHIO program, which you are accelerating the women to take position in leadership role. We don't want them just to be there. We want many ambassadors. But you must expose them to those roles. And those who come in from management, every level has different skill sets. So if you leave it, then you may not have enough people who have those skills to get into those levels. Now, we have a program with Galilee, Women in Port Management, purposely to create, for women to be able to have those skills and be considered for top management. And that is where, as IMO, we are looking at. There's one in Galilee and the other one in France for French speaking. Now we have 2 institutions in terms of capacity building. The World Maritime University and the Law Institute in Malta. Now, World Maritime by 2018, they had already crossed 1,000. In fact, this country has the highest number of graduates from WMU. And quite a big number, it's, I can see the former chair there. They are women. Now, IMLI, I think the first institute to include in statute that 50% of their participants need to be women. I don't know whether there is another institution who has got.
A graduate of IMLI.
Yes. They are here. There is no man who is a graduate of IMLI. And that is, it's at that level that from the recruitment we are looking and identify less women be there. Now, that is training. We're also looking at the feasibility. And I think I need to congratulate WOMESA today. You see? Everything, everywhere. All the seats are pink. Now, this is what we are advocating. Let people see you. Let's not hear about WOMESA. Let them see. We have photos of women in maritime. Let them inspire other people. There is a video which has been done, turning the tide. Now those are seafarers, the tide goes there. Because it has been a man's world, we want to turn the tide. And I'm glad that one of your members is in that video. When you look at it, just Google, turning, and very good for WOMESA Kenya. Congratulations for being there. Now the other one is we're looking at recognition. And I must say, as a government, as a member state now, address the government of Kenya, they have done well. Ambassador Nancy Karigidu, PS, Maritime, everybody is seeing. And to a point that the political level, they have a Ministry of Blue Economy and Maritime. And it is when now you start recognizing these people that we can do more. Now, in fact, this day, everybody knows today that we are coming down here to celebrate the International Maritime Day. That is recognition. We are recognizing that there are people who need to be celebrated. And that's why we have set aside a day for them. Now, the council has given us direction, member state again, that we have IMO Gender Equality Award in 2025. So we want to see, it's not just for one gender, but who has done much in promoting gender. So we'll be waiting to see who is the winner. And that gives a lot of visibility for women in maritime. And that is what we are doing at the headquarters. Now, currently, we are organizing a joint conference for the WIMAs in East Africa and West Africa. I think the invitations have gone out. Purity is coordinating that. It will be in Sao Tome in September. Sao Tome is a small island state. We have already we have started getting queries on how do you get to Sao Tome? How you need to spend 3 days going and 3 days coming. But it's a small island state. And again, member states, we have to focus on them because they're part of the maritime industry. So we'll be taking participants from all these, the WOMESA, sponsoring too, and the governing council, to go to Sao Tome this year. And thank you, Catherine. I've taken apologies, but I needed to put it across.
Thank you very much. You don't have any more additions for opportunities for our ladies? Just, more. We're writing them down. But thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, no. They will always be coming, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And foremost, my sincerest apologies. Yes, you're a seafarer. I thought the master mariner was bringing it out, but it needed to come out much stronger, and thank you for that. I'm very happy that from the International Regulatory Authority, we have been apprised that the IMO wanted to ensure that we are celebrated wherever we are, hence today and the May 18th celebrations. And I'm also happy to hear that they are also keen towards ensuring that we meet the SDG Goal 5 in terms of gender equality. And I believe the new proposal for the award, the 2025 award, the yearly award for women for gender equality by the IMO works towards that recognition. My colleagues, let us start working very hard so that by the end of this year, we know who we're going to submit. Okay, so let us pull our socks and work towards ensuring that Kenya submits a name for somebody who has undertaken great strides for consideration for nomination of that award. And I'm also happy to hear about the training opportunities available. Yes, I think Kenyans are very studious and we want to be more industrious and provide more opportunities and work. I'm very happy we've had the opportunities with WMU and our Board of Governors is present. And then we will continue tapping into that opportunity as well as that for the Galilee, for IMLI, and as well as the opportunities under the Galilee Institute in terms of port management. And I believe there are some WOMESA members who speak French. So if you speak French, also look into the possibilities of learning the port management courses in French in the event that you're not able to get an opportunity in terms of English. Visibility, we will continue to do our best to ensure that we advocate for women within the maritime sector through our social media, through our achievements, as well as engaging the national ministry, the Blue Economy, and the ministry, as well as the advisor to the government in this respect. Thank you very much for that, as well as the notification of the joint conference, which I hope WOMESA will be participating. Yes, thank you very much for that. Please allow me to welcome our next panelist. Allow me to welcome a seafarer, somebody who represents seafarer rights. And with that, I welcome you, Ms. Betty McKenna, to give us your views in respect of now the seafarers' rights.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm happy today to be in this side, because for many years, in being a member of WOMESA, I've been the other side and running up and down, organizing and everything. This is my best time I have for WOMESA since I joined WOMESA. I joined WOMESA when I was in the port. I was a docker. Please remember that I've come from the docker and moving up to the ladder to become in charge of the seafarers in this country. It's not easy. People think dockers cannot move. My friend, we can move. And I appreciate my former employer, Kenya Port Authority, for giving this opportunity and sure that somebody else in the international can see me and say, we want this girl. And that is where, for me, WOMESA is very important, because for mentorship and making sure that we uplift all the girls going up and make sure they'll sit in the international. We want to be where Nancy is. We want to be where Muli will. Muli will retire. I know he will not stay there. So we want a Kenya woman there. So that is my advocate. I come from ITF, the International Transport Workers Federation. We are a global trade union. We are not very friendly to many. because we are trade unions. Our organization was born in 1896, and I think more older than IMO. I'm speaking politely because I know Captain is here. And also we have 19.7 million members. We look at the issues of transport workers in the all sector of the transport. For me, for ITF to be here for WOMESA, it is very important because I want to ask WOMESA that in issue of supporting WOMESA, we have been supporting WOMESA for many years, opportunity of scholarship with ITF. We have several ladies here from KPA who have been sponsored by ITF, Port in Malmo. And I asked members, please, let's go to the website of ITF. And WOMESA can also ask, because we have a full committee of women department in ITF London. We also have full committee in ITF Nairobi office, and I'm very sure that we are represented here by in charge of the women, ITF Kenya Africa. She's here. In fact, she was supposed to sit here, not me. And she's just there. And we know that we can get scholarship for the women to go for Malmo and other training. Because I know a number of women have got that. And that committee, it's there to look at in fact, Kenya have really benefit on this training. For me, as from ITF, I am ITF inspector. I'm a ship inspector. In Kenya, I've been the first female and the only female to become an inspector. Now we have a full office, Africa now, where we have even female inspectors in Africa. And now we are making sure that we have more women. As ITF, what we are looking at, it's as inspectors, because I look at the issue with welfare of the seafarers on board. And we know that we have very little women in containers, vessels, and tanker and roller. We have very few. But when you look at the cruise ship, we have more girls. And I want to announce today, one of the shipping company, large shipping company in the world, in the day of celebrating the women's on the Maritime, they rate Kenya in that company to be 65% are Kenyan women. 65. It's not easy, one company. So if we make more talk with other shipping company, we'll get more women on board. For me, I look at the issue of safety for women on those ships. And I asked, do we have the laws which can guide our women as Kenya on board those ships, which are docking in the port of Mombasa? We have a law that we call, which was formed by IMO and ILO. It's called Fair Treatment for Seafarers, which was adapted in July 006. And do we have, as a Kenya, as WOMESA, can we push our State Department, Maritime Authority, to make sure that we have the guideline that look at the issue of the seafarers and the mostly women on those board? Because sometimes they get harassed, sometimes they get arrested when they have done wrong. Maybe the ship had a problem, pollution, other issues, because there are so many issues which happen on board the ship. Do we have any policy as women? Can we push for Kenya Maritime Authority that we have those guidelines, we have those policies so that we can help our women on board the ships which dock in this country? And making sure that we also talk to Port Authority, because I know we have women in that national level at the board of directors that we are looking at. This ship are boarding in the port of Mombasa. How many women do we have on those vessels? And if they can agree to give us opportunity for women to train on those ships, and the Kenya Port Authority give an incentive that if a ship arrive in the port of Mombasa with a woman, a Kenya woman, what do we do? Do we give a first priority dock? Do we give a fuel tax-free? What do we give? Because that is what the shippers are looking for. Our shippers are looking at how do we engage them and put more women on board the vessels. And that's, for me, for ITF, we feel like we need more women on board other ship, not the cruise ship. For ITF, we have agreed that we asked him for those guidelines, the rules, even the tools is already in our website. You can downloaded the tool, and WOMESA can assist and sit down with Kenya Maritime Authority to look at that guideline of the fair treatment for seafarers, for both male and female, because we know they go through so many issues of criminal issues, and we have issue for, the other issue was the issue of abandoned ships, which also have Kenyans on board. Do we have Kenyans? We look at that as WOMESA. How many women do we have? The database is very important, because the IMO will ask also, like an ITF will like to know, how many women do we have on those training ships? How many women do we have in the cruise ship? And I'm very sure, because we want to protect the women on issue of safety, on issue of security, because we want to protect our girls and women on those vessels. Because we have number of wrong shippers, wrong employers, because we have seafarers that they are looking upon for women to be there and to make sure. And we are supporting WOMESA fully to make sure that we are going to support WOMESA. ITF is ready to work with WOMESA. Our office in Nairobi, you get in touch with our WOMESA, because they normally have conferences. We have training for women, and the Africa office in Nairobi deals with all Africa, so they can give opportunity for our women. We look at the dockers. We don't even look only to the seafarers. We're also asking, how is the environment of the dockers in the port authorities? Our port authorities, is it friendly for our women? Is it safety for our women? And that is what we are looking at. That is what ITF is saying, that we are looking at the fair practice for workers, right, safety, and good opportunity for the women. And that is what we are ready to work with our WOMESA. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Betty. I'm sure we were very happy and pleased to hear that she previously was a dock worker and then worked at the Kenya Ports Authority to be where she is right now. It has not been easy to be an inspector within the arena. She has also apprised that in terms of the scholarship opportunities available, where the ITF sponsors applicants under the WMU. So an aspect also that she has apprised us that WOMESA can also consider. We've also been apprised of the office that has been established in Nairobi, with the head of the office present in our room. We will allow her to introduce herself later in the course of the day, so that in the event of any inquiries or aspects of concerns in relation to women, we can also pursue assistance from that office, besides also pursuing WOMESA among other institutions. We've also been informed that there are opportunities for women, specifically in tankers, containers, roll-on, roll-off. So these are opportunities that we can consider placing our cadets or our officers in those vessels. And also considerations in terms of incentives, whether there's an opportunity for development of an incentive to have more women on board such vessels. There was also a discussion regarding fair treatment, reminding ourselves of the fair treatment guidelines for seafarers, which are also provided within their website. We probably would also wish to maybe inform members that we have the consolidated version of the MLC convention. Kenya has now published the MLC regulations. They were published last week, so they should be in effect in the next in the next week or so. Within these regulations, you will find provisions in terms of complaints procedure for seafarers on board vessels. They can also have an opportunity to file complaints on shore. There's also aspects in relation to their rights and what they should have while on board the vessel, which attaches to both male and female seafarers. We are very happy to hear about the office, as well as the progress that has been made and what we can tap into, as well as the opportunities for women in terms of ensuring that women within the sector are protected. Please give her a round of applause once again. Now, allow me to welcome Mariam Kidere from the KPA Maritime Security to give us a little bit more information in terms of how we can tap into your organization and what you do and how you can help women and what we can do.
Thank you, Catherine. Good morning. As she has said, my name is Mariam Kidere, a Principal Port Security Officer in charge of the security systems. First of all, I would like to say that KPA has given a lot of opportunity to ladies or women in terms of maritime security. I being one of them, I have been given opportunity to participate in most of the trainings that have been collaborated by IMO and KMA. One of the training, he has just mentioned one, but there's another one you forgot about, maritime and port security at Galilee. I was a beneficiary of that, and it's only KPA that has given me that opportunity to attain. So you can see that is an evidence where KPA is committed to ensure ladies or women are, are recognized in the maritime sector. Another thing that KPA has done is it has also included women in technology in terms of maritime security. As we all know that KPA is it has an advanced maritime security system. We call it integrated security system. This system is basically managed by KPA staff, which most of them are ladies. I am in charge of the systems. Under me, I have a few ladies where I put where they do the monitoring and surveillance. For this one, it assists the KPA to maintain the safe environment for us to be able to carry on with the trade, global trade. Because without monitoring, we can't have a safe environment. We do the monitoring in order to deter, that is to deter any maritime threats, to detect, and also to delay. Delays is when we do the monitoring, we do the focusing and follow up and ensure the culprits are brought to records. So KPA has done a lot in technology where they give that opportunity to lady to advance. I also have in charge of GATE system, who is also a lady. So you can see most ladies are put in position where they can be recognized and they can be, Another thing, I've noted that KPA also recruits more ladies in security. The security department has approximately 70 to 65 officers who are ladies, and most of them are being trained on a daily basis. Some are beneficiary in the training at IPSTC. Some of them have been attending at Bandari. We also have the UK Maritime Security, where they offer the security training. I can see Miss Patricia is here. She can attest to that. She has trained most of the KPA staffs in security department. So that is all, and the KPA is open to give opportunity to ladies as long as you show the interest. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much for that. I'm just hoping that there will be opportunities for KPA to be open to be collaborating with WOMESA in terms of progressing women also, not necessarily within KPA, but also in other organizations in terms of maritime security.
Oh, yeah, KPA also, we all know that the former president came from KPA. So you can see that KPA has one of us in the WOMESA, and being there, she's always there to guide the management in terms of engaging women in the organization, running of the organization and port operations. So that one is evident enough.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we've had it all. She's explained to us her role within the integrated security system. She's also apprised us that there is a higher percentage of women working within the security who have been recruited and are continuously working within the security department. I believe this is a call for us to appreciate that recruitment, specifically in security for women, are opportunities that we can venture into. There is also the aspect of what they do, which includes monitoring and detection, as well as the training opportunities, which are broad. And we have one of our esteemed trainers from the UK also placed here in terms of maritime security. So thank you very much for that, as well as apprising us on the opportunities for where collaboration between KPA, WOMESA, and other agencies in this respect. I think this calls for an urgent survey to ascertain the number of women within the sector, noting the submission already made in terms of the populace of women within the maritime sector. So allow me to now next welcome Florence Bett to now provide us with insights in terms of now the environment aspect and as well as the GHG aspect in terms of KPA and the MTCC. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning once more. I am quite happy to be here today. Ladies, you are looking beautiful. I didn't know that color pink is so nice. Yes, you are looking so beautiful. My name is Florence Bett, a seafarer, and currently I work as a marine officer, marine oil terminal officer. Previously, I was a marine pollution officer within marine operations. And so I think my colleague Mariam has mentioned most of the things that we do within KPA. However, as a seafarer or as a person working in the marine operation, allow me to approach it from sharing my stories. Let me share my stories so that you can comprehend and know that there are opportunities within maritime for women. When I was employed, I'm an environmentalist, but marine environmentalist. So when I was employed, I was on board a vessel called Fagio, and we respond to oil spillages and marine emergencies. And initially, it used to be so difficult for us women because the equipment that we are using were quite heavy. You can't lift. And so, being a woman, there I was the only woman against the 35 men. And so we championed, I actually championed to have friendly equipment. Like we could have a power pack that has a wheel so that you are able to drive it. Because lifting as women, we know that we do not have that strength. But if the technology and innovation is done so that equipment you are able to lift, it goes a long way, it has gone a long way. And I can say KPA has been in support for women because if they could listen to what we were telling them and actually started procuring friendly equipment that women can actually use. The other aspect that I've also championed is the PPEs. The protective equipment, especially the safety shoes. I know most of us from KPA, you know, you used to be issued with the KPA staff, I know you'll agree with me. We used to be issued with men safety shoes, which were quite heavy. At the end of the day, when you are home, your legs are really aching. And so currently we've been issued with proper PPEs. Like the safety shoes are quite comfortable. We have comfortable uniforms. There are some few areas that we are still trying to work on, like the aspects of now having an overall, you know, like the one that is so straight, and you might want to use the washroom, and it's cover it all, but it's supposed to be friendly for women. The other aspect, and I know it is quite it's still a long process, is the use of, like now when you are on board, we only have one washing facility, the toilet. So it becomes quite uncomfortable for women when you are sharing with men the washrooms. But I think that is something that is cutting across, that will be, it is helping. I mean, it is developing that we'll have friendly facilities on board for women. And so, mentorship cannot be overemphasized. Mariam has talked about what KPA is doing, but as an individual, women in the maritime, let us mentor these girls when they come on board. Work with them. Let us encourage them to undertake careers in the maritime. So when we mentorship, I think cannot be overemphasized, because we need somebody to work with you in this career. So with these collaborations and the mentorship, and even this talk alone can go a long way. So I think as KPA is supporting issues to do with the women. This morning, I attended our department meeting, and my boss was like, I thought today was your day. I'm like, yes, but yes. Yeah, and I was like, oh, the meeting starting at 9, and I know by 9 we'll be finishing with this meeting. So you can imagine how they're able to recognize that there is a day for us. Because I had briefed him yesterday, today is our day, and oh, today was your day. So I think KPA, we are going a long way, recognizing women in the maritime. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Florence, for giving us a sneak peek into your growth within the sector. I'm very happy that you have told us of some of the challenges that you faced. I believe us as WOMESA, we can be able to work with the agencies in terms of how we can address these issues. One most important thing that you have stressed, which has also been stressed by Mariam, is aspect of collaboration, training opportunities, mentorship. These are big aspects that we need to continue progressing. So for that, I'm very, very grateful. And allow me, I've been already warned that I'm running out of time. Allow me to kindly call on Harriet Kadzo to give us your remarks based on your experience also, and what you feel could be aspects that women can tap into as well as implement. Thank you. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. In fact, I'm the happiest person to be here because all these are my mentors. I have worked in the different organizations. I have been with the ITF as a volunteer. I have been an intern at KMA, and every time I had issues, I would go to Captain David Muli. I will see Engineer Samba. So I'm very grateful to be here. And I didn't know one day I will sit with them, and so yeah, I'm very, very happy to be here. And WOMESA, you are doing a great job. I'm a beneficiary of the mentorship because it is through the mentorship that I have done all that. I've gone to see. I'm able to stand here and sit here and be a discussant. Currently, I am lecturer at Bandari Maritime Academy, and BMA is responsible for maritime education and training. So on the maritime safety and securities, we have different trainings. On the maritime safety, we have the basic safety trainings, the STCWs, whereby they're being equipped with knowledge on how to the safety procedures at sea. And we also have specialized programs at Bandari Maritime Academy. These are the crowd management trainings. So this training equips knowledge with these students who want to work in the cruise ships so that they know how to deal with emergencies when they're at sea. And then on the policies, Bandari Maritime Academy is in compliance with the international regulations, that is the IMO, so that we are able to, we follow the rules that are set by the IMO on the STCW and the MAPOL. And then on certification and accreditation, Bandari Maritime Academy is responsible for that in hand with the Kenya Maritime Authority. So all these are there at Bandari Maritime Academy, and we offer quality education for the students. Then on the advancement, knowledge advancement, we have simulators at the school. This simulation learning helps the student to have the real thing of what is happening at sea. So it builds the confidence on the students so that when they go there, they know what is expected of them. Yeah. And apart from that, we also have inclusive training programs such that not only to have basic knowledge on the ships and everything, but also to have leadership skills and management. Yeah. So apart from working at sea, even when they're on land, they'll be able to mentor other girls and be able to teach and also become lecturers. There are so many jobs apart from working at sea. So we are happy as Bandari Maritime Academy that we are instilling this knowledge to the students. And together with WOMESA, we can help in networking and mentoring the students. Thank you so much.
Thank you very, very much, Harriet. I think it's quite impressive to hear that Harriet has been through mentorship through the very esteemed panelists here, and she's able to sit in and listen and discuss with them. I think that's an embodiment of the work of the various agencies present, as well as WOMESA. So please give ourselves a round of applause. So we've had, she's also apprised us in terms of the work that she's doing at Bandari Maritime Academy and opportunities for WOMESA to collaborate and work with Bandari Maritime Academy towards progressing education and training so that we are able to achieve generally the thematic area of this session. So for that, I kindly remind ourselves of and appreciate our panelists for the discussions and the statements made, ranging from the highest office of the country to the international regulator, to the national regulator, to the port operations, education, as well as the beneficiary and other users. So if you'll allow me to allow the room to, if there are any questions and answers that our guests would wish to raise, I will allow you an opportunity right now to raise the questions and answers before our panelists so that they can be able to respond before we break the session or we conclude this session. Are there any questions and answers on the floor? If you can state your name, the institution you come from, your question, and who you would wish to respond to your question, that would be grateful. You could also appreciate our panelists. It's very nice, eh? They have been put to task.
Good morning. My name is Lynette Marwa. I am a trainer at Bandari Maritime Academy. Mine is not a question. However, on the note that Madam Betty had on opportunities on tankers and containers, maybe what we need more is sensitization on these opportunities. I think most people are way more focused on opportunities on cruise ships. So perhaps maybe we should let these ladies and girls who are willing to join the industry to be more aware of these opportunities through Madam Betty's office. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's a very good action-oriented area. I think we can take that on board to ensure that we are sensitizing the community and members in terms of the opportunities available. And today we've had so many, right? Yes. Remember, please, when you take the mic, state your name, the institution, your comment or appreciation or question, and to who you'd wish to respond. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Stella Krol Sululu from Catholic Diocese of Mombasa, Caritas Office. I'm a member of WOMESA. My recommendation goes to Sifera Muli on the aspect, on the thematic areas, on the approaches which you had said. Number one, you touched on the three. I could also recommend, also you have an aspect on the issues of research and innovation. I also understand women are venturing a lot in scientific aspect. And the scientist informs better on the aspect of research, informs better on the data, informs better on everything, so that when we make the policies, we know that we are making the policies based on the existing gaps at the ground level. Yeah. Another recommendation goes to Madam Betty. we've been having fraud information outside there. The ground is not really good. People are being informed that there are so many jobs kwa meli, and then you find people are giving money out. We've got the middlemen who are misleading people, and you find a mere parent struggling to ensure that let my son, let my daughter have a job, hata aende kufanya kwa meli, at least our family becomes stable. Little did they know that their money is going to be squandered. Kindly, let's try to clear up the issue so that our common mwananchi should not suffer. Thank you.
Yes, Betty, you can talk, and then Muli on the research aspect, and Engineer Samba on the recruitment.
Thank you for the two questions from BMA and Stella Marie. Is it Stella Marie? Oh, yes. The issue of awareness. Two areas I will look at it. One will be Kenya Maritime Authority, and the other one, WOMESA, you can put aside fund for media awareness. Our people are conned by people around here. Awareness must be spoken. We are not telling the community, the public, proper information. KMA cannot work alone. WOMESA need to come in. We need to go to this local media. And I saw KBC. KBC, you are here. And you are the mother of the blue economy. I can see you here. And I know you need to give at least a small budget, not very high budget. I know you're looking for your own business, but you can give WOMESA. We have people here who are we have recruiting agents who are also members of WOMESA. They can even go to those medias and speak. And we have a very clear MLC 2006 convention that say nobody is supposed to be charged even a single cent to go on board the ships. These jobs are not Dubai, Qatar, maids jobs. No. These are maritime. And maritime is regulated. And what we are looking is, because there is middleman between there, awareness we need to do. And the other thing, the opportunity when we bring those manning agents can even speak where we have. We have more than 10 manning agents, 2 or 3 based in Mombasa, and the majority are based in Nairobi. And all are recruiting for Kenyans. And we are saying, can we be advocate for, in case of anything, if you hear people are asking for money, and all the manning agents who are also not supposed to charge anybody. We also need, as ITF or the ITF, because we report them to Maritime Authority, and also we report them at the IMO meeting, that we have Kenyans who are recruiting agents who are charging. It's automatic, because that is our job. And we make sure that, and this will be good awareness for all the community of this country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Solulu, for the question, and thank you very much, Betty, also for assisting to response to that. I think the issue raised talks to the bigger problem of unemployment in Kenya, and which to a great extent also is very difficult for women. And people are trying to do all kinds of things in order to be employed. People are desperate, and then you are told that you give this money and you'll be able to get a job, and they just try. So for us at the Maritime Authority, one of the ways in which we address this is to expand the number of recruitment and placement agents. So before we had a very small number, and now they have expanded. And this now means you can approach many of them to see if you can get a job. Secondly, the issue of sensitization, which Betty has talked to, that for employment as a seafarer, the law does not permit any amount to be paid for you to be employed, apart from the documents that you need to get, your training certificates, your passport, and your seafarer's record book. But the last part now is enforcement. One is if there is a licensed recruitment and placement agent who is charging money to the seafarers to be employed. The authority, now that we have the MLC regulations, which Catherine has said have been gazetted, gives us now greater power to be able to withdraw the certificate and take necessary action, enforcement action, to ensure that the recruitment agent does not charge to recruit a seafarer. And also that we are informed of middlemen, brokers who are collecting money from Kenyans, so that action can be taken in accordance with the Maritime Labor Convention. But I think it's important for us to sensitize each other that employment as a seafarer, there is no charge that is the seafarer is supposed to pay. Thank you. I don't know.
Ambassador would wish to say something, just to add on to what has been said.
Okay, let me add that I have recently been appointed as a sea ambassador by an international, a global organization called ICE1, the International Seafarers Welfare and Assistance Network. Now, one of ICE1's major roles is to actually talk about this. I mean, take action, or rather bring to light actions that fleece potential seafarers, because it's a major problem, not just in Kenya. And people are promised all these good things, but they have to pay for them, which is not allowed. And the speakers have spoken. MLC, Maritime Labor Convention, is specifically against seafarers paying for anything to do with recruitment. So this is something that we are working on. Currently, we have a project, and I have shared with WOMESA. It's targeting women, making it safer for women to work on board ships. The information is we want to hear stories from women and men also who've been at sea. It's anonymous. You don't have to be, your name may not be disclosed. And this is to get the information, the necessary information that will help ICE1 and partners to push for policies that will make it even safer for women to work in the sector. So my plea now is to welcome WOMESA to work with us as ICE1. This is a project that the government of Kenya is supporting, because of course when I was appointed I had to discuss it with my employer, and it has the blessings because of what the potential is for Kenya. It's the first time that ICE1 is coming into Africa. So we are honored to be working with such a renowned and action-oriented organization. The other thing we are doing is to develop the infrastructure and support necessary to support the seafarers. In fact, today we are having a meeting, ICE1 is having a meeting with potential psychologists and psychiatrists from Mombasa or from Kenya, who will be trained to help and to support the mental health for seafarers and their families also. So bringing more networks and more support system for Kenyan seafarers, and of course making it easier for them to work. So welcome WOMESA to work with ICE1 now.
Thank you very much for that. Captain Mool, say something?
Yes, quickly to respond. In the two transitions I talked about on autonomous ships and the new, the greenhouse gas emission, there will be more opportunities for researchers than even the seafarers themselves. So it's about you now trying to align and pass that message, because you need to keep on trying. By the time we're talking of 2040, no, yeah, 2050 actually. So all these plans, there will be a lot of research. So if you have somebody with the university, please tell them if they want, let them go join that field, because there will be more opportunity than you can imagine.
Thank you very much for that. There's a question at the back, then one here at the front, and then I can see two more hands. Okay, so we'll begin with the one at the back, please. Thank you. Remind us your name. Sorry, we can't hear you. Microphone is not working. My colleagues, you want me to run up and down? Use this.
Good morning. My name is Rachel. Here's my question. As a student in nautical science, what key strategies and initiatives do you believe are most effective in attracting and retaining more women in the maritime sector?
Engineer Samba to provide a response, as well as ITF and Captain Muli.
My name is Priscilla Ngugi. I'm a student from TUM and I recently completed my sea time. So my question goes to KMA also. In the certification and accreditation of Kenyan seafarers, what is KMA doing to ensure that the Kenyan COC is recognized globally?
This one, Samba, Engineer Samba, and Ambassador, if you don't mind also. Last question, yes?
Morning. My name is Honorable Said Omar. I'm former MTA in Mombasa County. I was representing people with disability in Mombasa. I'm honored to be here with Kenya Maritime, and to celebrate women from Kenya Maritime. My question comes here. What opportunities, or do you employ people with disability in terms of call centers, receptions, and many others? I would like to know if there's opportunities so that we can share with our people and they can use or apply for the opportunity. Thank you.
Excellent question, excellent question. We've been asked in terms of what opportunities are available for employment and training, and as well as facilities for persons without disability. And this I will also kindly request for ITF to provide a response, KPA, one of the ladies, you pick which one of you to provide a response, Engineer Samba to also provide a response. So we have the three questions. One for nautical studies, one on accreditation, and the other one with disability. Who would wish to start?
Thank you very much, Rachel, Priscilla, and Mheshimiwa, for the good questions. Rachel asked the strategies that we have to attract and retain women in the sector. So there are three parts. One, you have to excite them to come into the sector. So if they are undecided between maritime and aviation and another sector, how do we convince them that this is the sector that they need to be. And then once they're here, how do you promote and encourage them to go the whole hog? And then thirdly, how do you bring them to leadership and decision making? So these are issues that I think are of concern to women. So in terms of attraction, I think WOMESA is doing a lot through the mentorship, people who are already in the sector, talking to the young people, and getting them mentors, and also by them observing those who are already in the sector, they get excited and say, I wish to be like so and so. So therefore it means the way those who are already there, the way we carry ourselves, the way we interact is important in attracting the young women to the maritime sector. How do we promote them? I'll talk about the example of seafarers. One, we look at how are we able to, for example, reserve some positions or some opportunities specifically for women. And I think the example of IMLI is very good, that you say 50% of these positions will be reserved for deserving women. So some affirmative action is done. But also there is need for support, financial support, continuous advice, and the rest. And these are able to maintain them to progress in the sector. There's a shipping company that I know of that they have their banker, and the banker told them that if you recruit this number of women in the next 1 year, the loans that we are giving you will make the interest rate just a little bit lower than the market rate if you are able to do this. And a very small percentage of interest charge to a shipping company is a lot of saving to them. And this has actually encouraged them to get more women and to retain them. And then lastly is on how do we bring them to leadership and leadership position and decision making. So these also, we have to prepare them through training which is provided, for example, by the WMU and IMLI and the training institutions that the likes of Ms. Kidere have benefited from. So they have to prepare them for leadership. So these, briefly, I think are some of the strategies that we can make to attract and retain women in the sector. The second question was on the Kenyan COC. What strategies are we making to make the Kenyan COC recognized globally? And I'm happy my colleagues, Captain Twalib is here. We are working closely with him to improve maritime education and training in Kenya. And we have also Harriet from BMA, who are the training providers for the country. Recognition is the foundation of it is the STCW Convention, which Kenya is party. So we have to have proper legislation that domesticates the STCW in Kenya, which we have done. We have to ensure that the training providers, the approved training providers, are conducting their programs in accordance with the laid standards, the quality standard system that is required by the STCW, and we are conducting regular inspections to confirm that they continue to be in compliance. We are also ensuring that the certification system that is being done by the Kenya Maritime Authority is properly being conducted. The certificates, they have what supports the issuance of the certificate. It is proper and it is well documented. And lastly, we present our independent evaluation, our 5-year audits to the International Maritime Organization to confirm that full and complete implementation of the convention continues to take place. But lastly is the issue of entering into agreements for recognition of seafarer certificates, and I'm sure Ambassador is going to talk briefly about it, that we enter into agreements with additional countries, those that have big fleets, so that the Kenyan seafarers are able to be employed based on the recognition agreement and the fact that Kenya continues to be on the white list. Then lastly, the question from Mheshimiwa on the people with disability. I think there's something for everyone in the maritime sector. I know they're saying that for the seafarers, the fitness and medical requirements are very stringent. But now that Captain is telling us that in the future you will be operating the ship from a remote location, maybe from the comfort of your house, I believe it will be possible to have people with disability working in the sector. And the Kenya Maritime Authority is very alive to this. We have people with disability whom we have made a choice and a decision that we will have them. And that is our way of promoting people with disability and ensuring that there's inclusion for everybody. I think that's briefly what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke, for all the information that you've provided. Let me touch on a few other issues. Maybe I'll add to a previous question. But on the issue of recognition, I want to say that we are working with international partners in order to bring as many flag states in Kenya as possible. Working with the relevant ministries, because you realize in maritime, it may not be the work of one agency within government. And therefore, this is in our radar. And it's something that we've concerned ourselves with, because we cannot train, we cannot purport to be looking for jobs, yet we are not putting the necessary ecosystem for them to be, for the young people to be able to access jobs. Then we are also exploring cadetship programs, because we know that that's another issue, because if we don't have the legal finish to the training, then it means people are held back and they still stay home. So some of those initiatives include partnering with the companies that will be able to give us slots to train. But I also want to suggest that somebody talked about incentives before. I don't know, in this. I want us to challenge us to be innovative, to think of what we can do. I remember once being asked by one of the players in the industry, how come I will come carrying Kenyan cadets and I have to wait while others just go? I'm partnering with you as a country to train your people, and then I have to wait. So, KPA, is there something you can do working with the people you are with to entice them to work with us? Because I also remember the cadets telling us that whenever they are coming to Mombasa, inakuwa ni kicheko. Wanacheka, oh, we are going to the port where even Kenyans wait. Because this is what other countries have done. You know, you recognize each other's strengths with the people you are giving the service to, and then they are more encouraged to do it. That's just one aspect I've mentioned. Then I also want to say something maybe I should have said earlier when I talked about ICE1. When we talk of corporates, we talk of corporates' responsibility, yes. That we have responsibilities who, you know, as persons who have been given favor by being given the business, we are challenged. What are we giving back? And I want to challenge us as Kenyans. Why don't we have any kind, or rather, we need to cultivate that kind of citizen responsibility. Because the person who is getting money from the recruits to give them a job is killing, well, they are getting something in their pocket, but they are killing the opportunities for so many others. You know why? I'll give you an example. Once upon a time when I was younger and in practice, I had a client in one of the neighboring countries, and all he wanted for me was to manage recruitment of Kenyans to go and work in their factory. Okay? And initially, they wanted women because they said, we just want girls to come and work in our production, food production. And we had to convince him, why are you going to Thailand, Madagascar? Kenya is next door. Come and recruit in Kenya. The Kenyans will integrate faster because of the language, because of the culture, and you will get a better worker. And they agreed, and they came. Now, being what I thought was a responsible citizen, I said, I want to be sure that these Kenyans will never be stranded wherever they are going, because they'll need to be paid, first of all, in foreign exchange. If you bring me the local money there, what do I do with it? So I negotiated, pay them in dollars. We said, okay. Then the next thing was, pay them in Kenya. Nobody told me that. It wasn't in any law. I said, I would want you to pay them in accounts in Kenya. We went and negotiated with cooperative banks because they didn't have such stringent account opening procedures. And we agreed, these recruits, they are getting accommodation, they are getting food, they are getting transport. How much money do you need when you're there? So we agreed, okay, just a little amount of it, give them for mafuta ya nywele, okay, for their personal, and they'll do overtime also. But the rest of the money every month into cooperative bank. They agreed. Then we said, okay, that time the passport used to have a clause, 60, you need to get a guarantor, remember? 60,000. And we said, because I was like, if I wake up one morning and I have 200 parents at my door asking me where are my children because they can't come back, what will I do? So we agreed, open a joint account, or open an account in Kenya, where for everybody the guarantee will be implementation of that clause on immigration, 60,000 in Kenya. They opened an account in Stanbic. We started doing business. I never charged a coin for them because why would I? I was paid by the recruiter. And we were doing a very good job. It was going very well. Those young ladies, when they came back, can you imagine finding 2 years' worth of salary in a bank in Kenya? They did marvelous things. But what happened, as usual, our corporate, I don't know what it is, somebody who was more powerful than me actually took a trip to the Seychelles, a local, and he went and negotiated. We have such burdensome rules that she's putting for you. I have influence, political influence. You don't have to put all this money in the bank in Kenya. You can save it. The 60,000 that they were putting as guarantee in the bank, oh, they were told you don't have to do it. And we will be able to get you even more people. And even these stringent rules of sending the salary to Kenya, you don't have to. And guess what? They took the contract away from me. Now, you can guess what happened. Can you guess? Can you guess? What? They started charging. They started charging. In fact, I remember one girl who sold her salon to pay the recruiter, the new recruiter. Then, One of the requirements was doing medicals. Food industry, no HIV, no pregnancy, because you bring a pregnant worker for me and they are leaving, I can't afford. Then they started appearing there with diseases. Because what they didn't know was that the first thing, you'll go with a report from Kenya saying you're clean, but they won't let you integrate until they send you to their own hospital. So HIV, TB, and of course, it's a loss to the company. We paid for you to come, we have to repatriate you back. You can guess what happened. The contract went back to Thailand, to Madagascar. That is what I'm talking about, citizen responsibility. Guess what? Those seafarers that are being charged money, the shipping line, even if they go, the shipping line will know. Because what do? They have their way of finding out. Because even this neighbor, they found out that people were paying. Because they have their ways. They will interview them. And they will find out. And guess what? The jobs will be gone. So whatever we are doing here is useless until we have the hygiene, the proper hygiene as citizens to protect the industry. The people who go with fake documents to the embassies to seek visa, what do? They also now make it more stringent for the genuine ones to be able to get visas. And when you start charging, it means the consideration is gone. You are not looking for workers, you're looking for opportunists. And those opportunists will include the people who will go and jump visa. They won't go to the ship. The idea is to just go and disappear in the US, in wherever else they're being taken. And we've started seeing that. So I think anybody who finds a person who is charging, that's an enemy, and you should deal with them because they are not helping the country. They are not helping our young people. We are now introducing criminality for one. We are also diluting our brand because you want the ship owner to say, by the way, Kenyans are very good. Their systems in government and in the private sector in Kenya are very good. You can go there. But guess what? Word of mouth in the shipping sector, Mr. Muli will tell you, Captain Muli will tell you. The industry relies so much on word of mouth. That's why Lloyd's Insurance was started on a handshake in a cafe. We trust each other that your word is your bond in the maritime sector. Now, when we start doing this hanky-panky business where we are, it's about the pocket, we are killing the brand we are building. So I wish all of us can become ambassadors and spread that word. It's not about me, it's about all of us. And we need to work together to insulate and and put the necessary infrastructures to protect what we are doing, because it's a good thing. Why else do you get people going at the lowest level but earning almost $1,000, which they can't spend on board, they'll come to spend at home? I think that alone should give us incentives to out, the people who are charging to be our enemies and recognized as such because they're killing our brand. Now, what else did I want to say? I think the last Mheshimiwa asked a question on the opportunities. And I want to say that decarbonization, as Captain Muli has said, comes awash with responsibilities. Because not only are we decarbonizing the shipping itself, even the ports, the maritime, the way business is run. What does that mean? Opportunities to come up with green ways of doing business. And they are. The area is awash. Investments into the sector. Production of renewable energy, the wind, the tides, the windmill, those are all investment opportunities. Maritime circular economy, using, making sure that we extend the life of the equipment that we are using. So, what opportunities are there in KPA? Do we need everybody bringing in their tractor? Can we, that we use for 2 hours, And just an example, we use a tractor or whatever implements we are using for 2 hours and go and pack it. Can we form cooperatives where maybe they can be loaned? Can we form, the blue carbon, the mangroves? What can we do so that we can become partners and in this? The solar powered, equipment. All those are investments that we can do. The waste that comes with the ships, can we recycle? Can we come up with initiatives that we recycle to bring, to use them for energy, which could include even the waste produced by Mombasa people? Can we tap into that to create energy instead of just taking it to Mwakirunge? Those are all opportunities that we can use, and many more. Let's educate one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. You have encouraged us to be innovative in all that we do. And shared with us some of your experiences in terms of areas whereby they should be, or we should take up, there should be an uptick in terms of citizen responsibility, as well as more opportunities with decarbonization, waste management, among other aspects. I also wish to thank Samba, Engineer Samba, for providing a summary in terms of what areas are available in terms of opportunities for and strategies to attract and retain officers, specifically women, as well as in terms of mentorship, bunkering, recruitment, training and facilities, as well as collaboration, I presume, in terms of ensuring that wherever collaborative framework is entered, that consideration for women participation is actually considered. He's also talked about certification aspects, ensuring that certificates are valid, as well as consideration of recognition of agreements. He's intimated that recognition agreements have actually been entered. I can say some of a few, but there are many more. We've entered with Panama and Liberia, among other countries, with a fleet. We've also entered into partnerships with other organizations, and he's also talked about the importance of having facilities that are friendly to persons with disability. Please allow me to request one of the officers from KPA to also talk about the aspect in relation to persons with disability facilities.
Thank you so much. Yes, KPA recognize people with disability, and they give equal opportunity for them to work with. This one can be seen by the infrastructure around the KPA. It's all accommodating the people with disability. So that's an evidence enough to show that they recognize, because it's also recognized in the Kenyan Constitution 2010. So that's it.
Thank you.
Opportunities are so many. They have, they can be given the opportunity in any department, as long as they do they follow the right procedure in the recruitment, because it's an equal opportunity. It has to be equally. I mean, the procedure has to be equally prepared for them also. So it's an equal opportunity for them also in all departments. There's no department that will not consider people with disability, apart from maybe going to the cranes, which is definitely for those who with maybe physical challenge, they have a problem with legs, they cannot be given that. But in other department, offices, security, medical, we have medical facilities, they're all there to give them opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mariam. I think she has said it well. Both KPA and KMA have facilities that are open and have opportunities for persons with disabilities. So let us continue sensitizing our communities in terms of opportunities available in our respective institutions, among others. Can I close this session with a round of applause? And can we stand up for that to our panelists? They haven't even drank water. Please, who can do the proper hand clap? Who knows how to do a proper hand clap for our panelists? Okay, or plugging, I think. Something like that, yeah.
Which one? Okay, we'll do for them 5 factorials. Do you know 5 factorials? Higher. We'll test if they know them. Let us start. 1, 2, 3, go.
you very, very much. Asanteni sana. I can now hand it over back to the moderator for the day. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kindiki. That was an amazing panel team. And they've already given their apologies. I know people are looking at me, it's tea time. Now that is the time. But the content is what we require as women in maritime. What they were discussing actually reminded me of today morning when we were officiating the caravan to move. The men asked us, especially me and Hema because we were there, why do we have for women? Where is ours? Thank you. That is the answer. So that means the women, we've done something amazing. And also from our leaders, they pull us, and that's why we are here celebrating women in maritime. Now, let me take you to the order of the events that is coming up after. We're having a late tea break. So kindly, we apologize and bear with us, especially our stomach. So we allow to let the guests first move. We go to the first floor. We use these stairs at the pool area. We have a table set for the guest. And then we have now the table for all of us. So we have to go in that order. We had a media interview for some of the guests. That one will delay until the main guest arrive. Kindly is our own KQ. I've also received the message myself. There was a delay. There is a delay. Yes. And we opted to send our few members. So we have 2 members at the airport waiting and our own limousine waiting for her. So once she just landed, we have an update. She's around. So kindly bear with us. It's our own KQ. We don't have any issue. Our chief guest was there at 9. I can confirm that, but up to now, it is delay. Now, so we break for tea. The media interview will be after as well. So we break for tea. We start with the chief guest table. How many minutes? 20. Oh. Wow. Our matron has said 5. So, and the chair said 20. So we come in between 15 minutes. Thank you. Our guest, please be the first. Thank you. As they prepare themselves to leave, when you come back, the hall will have a lot of music. We'll enjoy, so don't go away. We still have more and more amazing presentation coming after. You've not even met our chief guest. So let's have tea and then come back. Please, our guest, we are waiting for you. Thank you, DJ. That's amazing. That's awesome.
I'm a superwoman. I'm a superwoman.